Welcome to English Cat. The sun is beginning to hide behind the tall trees of the forest. The sky is no longer blue. It is a soft, deep gray, like a warm blanket being pulled over the world. A quiet wind begins to move through the leaves. It carries the smell of wet earth and old pine trees. You are standing in front of a small wooden hut. This is your home for the night. It is a simple place, built from dark wood that has seen many seasons. The windows are small, and the roof is made of heavy metal. Everything is still. Then you hear it. A single drop of water hits a broad leaf. Then another. The rain has arrived, and the world is about to change. The forest is very old, and it knows how to welcome the rain. As the light fades, the trees seem to lean closer together, protecting the small hut in the center of the clearing. The air grows cool, the kind of cold that makes you want to reach for a heavy sweater. You step onto the small wooden porch, and the floorboards creak gently under your feet, a familiar and friendly sound. The forest floor is already turning dark as the clouds grow thicker. There is no sun to say goodbye today, only the slow transition from gray to charcoal. You look out into the trees and see the mist beginning to rise from the ground. It looks like white smoke dancing between the trunks. The birds have stopped their singing and are now tucked away in their nests, waiting for the storm. The only sound is the wind, which is soft and steady. It brings with it the scent of the coming rain, a clean, sharp smell that wakes up your senses. You take a deep breath, feeling the cool air fill your lungs. It feels like the world is taking a long, slow breath before falling asleep. Behind you, the door of the hut is slightly open. A small golden light from a single candle spills out onto the porch. It looks warm and inviting against the blue shadows of the evening. You know that inside it is dry and safe. But for a moment, you stay outside. You want to watch the first few minutes of the rain. The clouds are heavy and low, hanging just above the treetops. The first few drops are large and slow. They hit the dusty ground, creating small circles in the dirt. Soon, the rhythm picks up. The patter-patter on the leaves becomes a steady hum. It is a peaceful sound, like a secret being whispered by the sky. You turn and walk inside, closing the heavy wooden door. The sound of the wind changes instantly. It is now a distant roar, muffled by the thick walls. Inside, the hut smells of dry wood, beeswax, and a hint of lavender. It is small, but it feels infinite in its comfort. There is a soft rug on the floor and a comfortable chair waiting for you by the window. The rain is falling harder now, and you can hear it drumming against the metal roof. It is a hollow, rhythmic sound that fills the room with a sense of protection. You are here. The rain is there, and everything is exactly as it should be. The sound of rain on a metal roof is unlike any other sound in the world. It is loud, yet it does not feel noisy. It is a constant music that tells you that you are safe. As you sit in your chair, you listen to the different layers of the storm. There is the high-pitched tink-tink of small drops and the heavy thud of larger ones falling from the branches of the trees above. Sometimes the wind pushes the rain against the window glass, making a soft splashing sound. It sounds like the hut is being washed clean by the night. Inside, you begin your evening routine. You move slowly, enjoying the simplicity of every action. You go to the small stove and strike a match. The flame is orange and bright. You light a few more candles, and the shadows on the walls begin to dance. The light is soft and kind. It hides the corners of the room and makes the small space feel even cozier. You find your favorite teapot, a heavy ceramic one that feels warm in your hands. You fill it with water and place it on the small heater. Soon, the water begins to hum, adding a new note to the music of the rain. The hut is filled with small treasures. There are books with worn covers on the shelves and a soft wool blanket draped over the back of your chair. You feel a deep sense of gratitude for these simple things. Outside, the world is wet and wild. The trees are shaking their branches, and the forest floor is turning into a river of mud. But here, the air is still. The candlelight reflects in the dark window glass, showing you a faint image of yourself. You look calm. The stress of the day has disappeared, washed away by the sound of the water. The tea is ready now. You pour the hot water over dried herbs, and a cloud of steam rises into the air. It smells of mint and honey. You hold the cup with both hands, letting the warmth soak into your palms. You walk back to the window and watch the rain. It is falling so hard now that you can barely see the trees. The world has become a blur of gray and green. The sound on the roof is a heavy roar now, a powerful song of nature. You realize that you don't need to be anywhere else. There is no work to do, no people to meet, and no problems to solve. There is only the rain, the tea, and the quiet. As the tea grows warm in your belly, your mind begins to wander. Rain has a way of bringing back memories. You remember being a child and listening to the rain against your bedroom window. Back then, the world felt so big and mysterious, and the rain was a magic force that changed everything. You remember the feeling of jumping into puddles and the cold splash of water against your skin. Those memories feel far away. But tonight, in this hut, they feel close again. The rain connects the person you were to the person you are now. You think about other rainy nights you have known. Some were spent in busy cities, where the rain made the pavement shine like silver and the car lights look like colorful stars. But those nights were loud and hurried. Here, the rain is different. It is honest. It doesn't have to compete with the sound of engines or the glow of neon signs. It only has the trees and the earth. You realize that you have spent so much of your life rushing from one place to another. But tonight, the rain has given you permission to stop. It has created a wall of water around you, protecting your peace. The shadows on the wall move as the candles burn lower. You think about the people you love and the quiet moments you have shared with them. Rain is often seen as something sad, but you don't feel sad tonight. You feel a deep sense of belonging. You belong to this moment. You belong to this quiet hut. The memories that come to you are like old friends visiting for a short time. They don't demand anything from you. They just sit with you in the silence. You remember the smell of your grandmother's kitchen on a rainy afternoon, or the sound of a friend's laughter under a shared umbrella. These thoughts make you smile. You take a sip of your tea and lean your head back against the chair. The rhythm of the rain is helping you let go of old worries. Each drop that hits the roof seems to carry away a small piece of stress. Your breathing slows down. You feel your shoulders drop away from your ears. The past is just a story, and the future hasn't happened yet. There is only the now, and the now is beautiful. It is wet, it is dark, and it is perfectly quiet. The memory of the sun feels like a dream, and you find that you prefer the reality of the rain. Outside the walls of the hut, the forest is alive. The storm has grown stronger, and the wind is now a powerful force. You can hear the trees groaning as they bend. They are strong, their roots reaching deep into the earth, but even they must bow to the wind. The rain is no longer falling straight down. It is blowing in sheets, hitting the side of the hut with a sound like pebbles. Somewhere in the distance, there is a low roll of thunder. It is not a scary sound, but a deep, vibrating note that you can feel in your chest. It reminds you that nature is vast and powerful. You imagine the animals of the forest. The deer are likely huddling together under the thick branches of the pine trees, their heads tucked low. The foxes are deep in their dens, warm and dry. The birds are small spots of color, hidden in the hollows of trees. Everyone is waiting. There is a shared understanding in the forest during a storm. It is a time for resting and staying still. The river that runs near the hut is growing wider and faster. You can hear its voice rising, a constant rushing sound that joins with the wind and the rain. The lightning flashes, just for a second. For that brief moment, the world is painted in bright blue and white. You see the shapes of the trees, their branches reaching out like arms. You see the rain hanging in the air like millions of tiny diamonds. Then the darkness returns, feeling even deeper than before. The thunder follows, a bit louder this time, echoing off the hills. You feel a sense of wonder. You are so small compared to this storm, yet you are a part of it. The hut is your little island in a vast, dark sea of trees and water. The air inside the hut stays warm. You get up to check the window, and you see a small frog sitting on the ledge outside, protected by the roof's edge. Its skin is shiny and wet, and its eyes are bright. It seems perfectly happy to watch the world wash away. You feel a connection to that small creature. Both of you are just watching the power of the night. You move away from the window and add a small piece of wood to the stove. The fire crackles, a sharp, dry sound that contrasts with the wet world outside. The warmth of the fire is a physical comfort, a reminder of human touch in the wild forest. There is a difference between being lonely and being alone. Tonight, you are alone, but you do not feel lonely. In the silence of the hut, you are finding a friendship with yourself. Without the noise of the world, you can hear your own thoughts clearly. They are not the frantic thoughts of a busy day. They are slow and gentle. You think about what makes you happy, about the things that truly matter. The rain acts as a filter, removing the unimportant things and leaving only what is real. You decide to put away your phone and your gadgets. You don't want to hear from the outside world tonight. You want to stay in this bubble of peace. You find a notebook and a pen on a small table. You don't write anything important. You just draw simple shapes and write down words that describe the sounds you hear. Rhythmic, deep, safe, endless. The act of writing by candlelight is slow and meditative. The pen moves across the paper with a soft scratching sound that is very satisfying. You feel a creative energy waking up in your heart, born from the quiet. The loneliness of the forest is actually a kind of freedom. There is no one to judge you, no one to expect anything from you. You can sit however you like. You can sing a soft song to yourself or stay silent for hours. You realize that you often spend so much energy trying to please others that you forget how to please yourself. But tonight, the rain is your only guest, and it is a very easy guest to host. It asks for nothing but your attention. It invites you to be exactly who you are, without any masks or pretenses. You look around the room. The shadows of the plants on the windowsill look like strange, beautiful drawings. The way the light hits the wooden beams of the ceiling makes them look like the ribs of a great ship. You feel like a traveler on a long journey, and this hut is your sanctuary. You feel a sense of pride in your ability to be still. Many people are afraid of the quiet, but you are discovering that the quiet is full of life. It is where you find the parts of yourself that you have hidden away. You feel a deep peace, a comfort that comes from knowing you are enough, just as you are. The clock on the wall says it is midnight. The storm has reached its peak. The rain is a solid wall of sound now, a heavy drumbeat that never stops. The candlelight has burned down, and the room is filled with long, soft shadows. You are lying on the rug now, wrapped in your wool blanket. The floor is hard, but solid beneath you. You look up at the ceiling and listen. At midnight, the world feels very thin, as if the distance between dreams and reality is very small. You feel like you could float away into the clouds if you wanted to. You think about the cycle of water. The rain falling on the roof tonight will eventually find its way into the earth. It will feed the roots of the trees and fill the underground springs. Later, it will flow into the river and travel to the ocean. One day, the sun will lift it back into the sky to become a cloud again. This thought makes you feel connected to the entire planet. You are part of a huge, beautiful system that has been working for millions of years. Your life, your problems, and your joys are all part of this great dance. The thunder has moved further away. It is now just a low vibration, like a large cat purring in the distance. The wind has calmed down, and the rain is falling straight and steady once more. You close your eyes and let the sound wash over you. You imagine the rain washing away your fears. You imagine it cleaning your mind, leaving it fresh and clear like the forest air. You feel a sense of deep release. It is okay to be tired. It is okay to rest. The world will keep turning without you for a few hours. In the dark, your other senses become sharper. You can hear the wood of the hut settling, making small pop sounds as the temperature changes. You can smell the cooling tea and the faint scent of the rain leaking through the cracks of the window. You feel the texture of the wool blanket against your chin. These small physical sensations ground you in the present moment. You feel a profound sense of home, not just in this hut, but in your own body. You are at peace with your heartbeat. You are at peace with the night. The rain is a lullaby, singing you towards sleep. Time passes in a dreamlike way. You must have slept for a while, because when you open your eyes, the light has changed. It is no longer pitch black outside the window. The air is a very pale, ghostly blue. The rain is still falling, but the sound has changed. It is no longer a heavy roar. Now it is a soft, delicate clicking. The big storm has passed, leaving behind a gentle drizzle. The world sounds tired, as if it has spent all its energy during the night and is now resting. You get up and stretch your limbs. Your body feels light and relaxed. You walk to the window and look out. The mist is very thick now, hiding the bases of the trees. The forest looks like it is floating on a white cloud. Water is dripping from every leaf and every branch. Drip, drop, drip. It is a slow, rhythmic sound that is very peaceful. You see a small bird hop onto the porch. It shakes its wings, sending a spray of water into the air, and then begins to look for insects. Life is beginning to wake up, but it is doing so very quietly. The air inside the hut is cool now, so you wrap the blanket tighter around your shoulders. You feel a sense of clarity that you haven't felt in a long time. The long night of rain has acted like a reset button for your soul. You feel like a different person than the one who arrived here yesterday. You feel older, perhaps, but also much younger. You have remembered how to listen. You have remembered how to be still. The soft light of the early morning is very kind to the eyes. It doesn't demand anything. It just shows you the beauty of the world. You go to the door and open it. The air that hits your face is incredibly fresh. It is cold, but it smelled so clean that you want to drink it. You stand on the porch and look at the trees. They look greener than they did yesterday, their leaves washed clean of dust. The river in the distance is loud and full, celebrating the gift of the rain. Everything is wet, everything is cold, and everything is beautiful. You realize that the storm wasn't an interruption of the peace. It was a part of the peace. The forest needs the rain to grow, and perhaps you needed the rain to grow too. The sky begins to turn from blue to a soft, pale pink. The clouds are breaking apart, revealing small patches of a clear, washed-out sky. The rain has finally stopped. The only sound now is the dripping of water from the roof and the early songs of the birds. They are calling to each other across the clearing, their voices bright and clear. The world feels new, as if it has just been born. You watch as the first ray of sunlight hits the top of the tallest pine tree. It looks like gold against the deep green. Slowly, the light moves down the trees, melting the mist. The forest begins to glow. The puddles on the ground reflect the pink and orange of the sky, looking like jewels scattered in the mud. You feel a warmth in your heart that matches the rising sun. The long, rainy night is over, but you will carry the memory of it with you. You will remember the sound of the metal roof, the smell of the herbs, and the feeling of being safe in the dark. You have learned that even the strongest storm eventually ends, leaving behind a world that is fresh and full of hope. You take one last look around the small hut. It has been a good friend to you tonight. It has kept you dry and warm, and it has given you the space to find your own silence. You feel a deep sense of love for this simple place. You know that you will have to leave soon and return to the busy world, but you are not afraid. You are taking the peace of the rain with you. You are taking the strength of the trees and the clarity of the morning air. You feel ready for whatever the day brings. The sun is higher now, and the forest is full of light. The steam is rising from the wooden porch as the sun warms the wet wood. You take one deep, final breath of the morning air. It is sweet and cool. You smile, feeling a quiet joy in your chest. The world is beautiful. The rain was a gift, and you are exactly where you are meant to be. As you step off the porch and onto the damp earth, you feel a sense of gratitude for the night, for the hut, and for the simple music of the falling rain. The day has begun, and it is beautiful.